Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon, as we got plenty of things to get to here on the show today. It's a Thursday, so of course we're going to have a little What to Watch presented by Bryant Technologies, do a little vibe check presented by Basis Health to get into the chat. We'll have your Alumni Hall question of the day. We'll also get in a little What's More Likely presented by BetSaracen, and we'll have all the discussions that's going on right now. But hey, fellas, what you been up to? Have you heard anything? What's the latest? What's going on here? I'm sure you haven't had that question. I'm sure you haven't had to deal with any frustrations. But dadgummit, what's going on with this transfer portal?
You'll get Boogie Flan back and a random 3-star who decommitted from Xavier, and you'll like it. That's what's going on. No, it's that time of year. You know how it is. Anytime things are a little bit more quiet than you want it to be, the rumor mill just starts churning like crazy. And that's kind of where we're at here as we wait for some news, any news, whatever kind of news. I know people are getting real antsy and anxious, but hopefully I calmed some folks down with the pod at the Palace this morning. It's okay. It's all right. A lot of programs like Eric Musselman's the past few years, they go out and they blow their wad early with all their NIL. And then the big fish would really hit the portal a little bit later, and you couldn't compete for them because you didn't have the funds available. Arkansas is taking the opposite approach right now. I think it's a good thing. And we know that the cool kids always show up a little bit late to the function. So all is well. They're still working on retention. They're going to get their guys. And I just want to throw this out there right now. Everybody, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. You don't have to put it in the chat. If I look like I'm not paying attention during the show today, I'm probably not, because I'm following the transfer portal during my downtime here. That's all that's going on. I just want to throw that out there right now, because we get a lot of that in the chat lately. And I'm like, dude, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing tremendous today. I hope everyone in the state of Arkansas is staying safe and staying sound, staying under a roof and everything. It got a little pretty crazy down there. I guess still some ongoing rain in the central Arkansas area. It's not raining where I'm at. I don't know about y'all. It's not raining where I'm at. It's just kind of ugly outside. But in terms of the transfer portal, man, yeah, it's just it's an anxiety inducing time of year. And it's weird because nothing's happened yet in terms of Arkansas other than some guys choosing other schools. No one move in and of itself is that big of a deal. You know, like Keyshawn Hall, very good player. You miss out on him. He ends up going somewhere else. That in and of itself isn't a massive deal. You miss out on Morez Johnson, a guy that I think all three of us were on the same page. We really liked. We thought that would be a good fit. We were pretty in on that. You don't get him. That in and of itself isn't a big deal. But when you start adding it all together, and then we haven't gotten any announcements with Arkansas, it's kind of understandable why people are panicking a little bit. But I think we're all on the same page that we'll probably feel pretty stupid in a week if Adu Thero announces he's coming back, Lamar Wilkerson commits to Arkansas, and a few other things happen. We'll feel pretty good. But until that happens, we're just kind of in wait-and-see mode, and it sucks to be here.
Yeah, and that's really, I think, having to try to keep everybody calm during a time like this. My favorite example of it, or at least maybe comparison, is when you're at that after-school program in elementary school playing on the playground, and all the other parents have been picked up their kids, but yet you're left there and you're like, did my parents forget me? What's going on here? You just have to sit there and hope and pray that somebody comes and gets you. That's what it feels like, and it's a very eerie feeling for those. But it's just a matter of what is going on around you. I don't think it's necessarily just about Arkansas, who hasn't had any news as far as who's staying or who's going. But when you see the other programs that are in this league or ones that you watch closely or whatever, if they get a player, you're almost like, okay, so they got one. Why haven't we? And then if a player ends up staying at a certain school and they announce it, well, what's taking Carter Knox so long? Why doesn't he just put out a tweet or let's post them on Instagram? What makes it worse is not, actually what makes it anyways, is not about how long it's taking Arkansas. It's about how other programs are getting a player or anything like that. And so that's where it's almost like you want everyone just to get off social media. And that's not going to happen, but get off social media for a second if you're trying to find transfer portal stuff. And then when it happens, it happens. And then you can react to it. But it just makes it so exponentially worse when you see programs like Auburn with Keyshawn Hawley again. I was like, well, they got him. They're in the Final Four. So they should be focused on that and not getting any other players. that's what's going to make people just drive themselves up a wall and get really intense about it.
It's go touch grass season. I think a lot of people would benefit from that. I do, man. Like every day I got to get outside. Hell, we might be in the middle of a thunderstorm after this, and I'm gonna have to go walk around and get some fresh air, because if you stay glued to this too much, it will drive you crazy for sure. And I really do think that if we just had a little bit, not everybody, but just a little bit more clarity on the returners, that there wouldn't be really that much angst at all about the transfer portal and what's going on there. I'm sure that they know that they've got a couple of these guys back, or they have a decent idea of what it looks like. Now, there are some guys that they're still waiting on and negotiating with. It's more than just, people are like, oh, well, the exit meeting took place, so decisions should be made. It's not like you walk in there and talk to Cal for 15 minutes, then you decide what you're going to do next year. Like, there's NIL discussions to be had. There's what's my role going to look like? What are you trying to do in the portal? What's the roster going to look like? Okay, I got to go talk to my family. I got to talk to my agent. They're probably going to make an NIL counter offer. Like, it's a process, man. So it takes a little bit of time there. But I feel like if we just knew, say, oh yeah, Carter's back for sure, and TB, and they're still trying to figure out some other stuff, we wouldn't be tripping at all. Outside of this is where I will give panicky Razorback fans a little bit of grace, because I get it, the center spot. Because like, you don't have one. Everybody comes back. You still don't have a big man, and I know a lot of those are coming off the board. More will come available. It'll be all right. Arkansas will get their guys. Don't sweat it.
Yeah, I think understanding the assignment and understanding what kind of roster you need to build is a very key part of this. And to your point, Curtis, even the coaching staff themselves might not be 100% sure on what it is they need to target. I mean, if you don't have a Duke Thero, that's going to change the way you approach the portal. If you don't have Carter Knox or Billy Richmond or DJ Wagner, it's going to affect the way you attack the portal. And I think you make a good point there on the center that no matter what, I think we've determined through one or a few days of portal season, Arkansas has to get a big man, and people are going to freaking riot if they don't get 3 7-footers minimum. And I think that is kind of what's interesting. But that's the thing is, like you mentioned, you look around the portal, it's not a ton of 7-foot guys just loafing around there. Not a ton of big-time centers to be had. And so I understand why there's some of that concern and all that. But I think I just keep coming back to big picture with this program, this coaching staff, and this team. I have no reason as of today, as of April 3rd at 12:10 p.m., I have no reason to believe Arkansas is not in a position to compete from an NIL standpoint, from a program recognition standpoint, from a head coach prestige standpoint. And so it's like hard for me to imagine that they would just strike out in this portal. Could happen, of course, but I think at this point, I'm kind of telling myself I'm trusting the process and trusting what they have going on. And like you said, it would really just help. We could just get some good news, get even a simple Carter Knox I'm back speech. That would do wonders for this fan base right now, and kind of restore some of that good vibe, because it's a what have you done for me lately world we live in, and the Razorbacks have not done anything lately. And so I see why people are kind of on edge a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just, it's like, the players that you want to get out of the portal is a process, but the players that you feel like are staying, because we know everything's fluid. There's no guarantees, especially when the portal comes around. And it's one of those deals of like, okay, hey, Brazil, hey, Carter Knox. I mean, you could just say you're staying, that'd be great, because then people start getting in their minds of like, wait a minute. Well, if they haven't said that they're staying, who's talking to them? Somebody coming in, doing some tampering, trying to say, hey, if you get in the portal, get a bag. Are they listening to them? Are they considering it? If they do, what do we do? Like, it just starts making everybody keep going down the line and thinking, all right, well, let's take this thing and let's look at the worst case scenario and disastrous type of situation and assume that that's going to happen. It's just human nature. Maybe it's just hog fan nature, but still, it's you just need we just need news. The microwave society that we're in. We just need something to look at and be like, hey, we want it instantly. And so that way we can move on about our day. But even if you got it, I don't think people are going to move out about their day. Even if they got somebody to announce they're coming back, they're like, that's great. All right, what's next? And then you're still going to be complaining about something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been talking about it over on the Discord a lot, nonstop. And, every time we start talking about retention guys, people are, they'll get to freaking out about it. Well, that doesn't solve this issue. That doesn't solve that issue. Well, it doesn't mean they're not going to solve those issues, right? It's all part of, just one piece here and there. And eventually you put the entire puzzle together. The only thing that kind of stinks about the retention standpoint of this, how many announcements have you guys seen throughout the country of a prominent player saying, I'm coming back? We've not, maybe a small handful of those that we've seen so far. It's just not really a thing that happens too often. Maybe for guys who there's really like a stay or pro type of thing, like it would make sense for a Dude Thero to do that, for Boogie to do that, for example. But some of these other guys who aren't necessarily, like they don't really have draft prospects or whatever, it's not a foregone conclusion that we're going to get that from them in terms of like a notes app thing or a graphic or whatever. Like, I don't know how many of those things Tipton is putting out saying, fifth year forward Trevin Brazil will return to Arkansas. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't. And that's the other part of this, is because if someone's leaving, you're going to hear about it because their name is going to pop up in the portal. If they're going pro, you're going to hear about it because their name's going to pop up in the draft pool and there's going to be an announcement. But some of these comeback guys, you just have to wait and see. Like, I hope Cal gets back on Pat McAfee soon so he can drop some news for us.
Wait, so Curtis, what you're saying is that sometimes there's more than meets the eye with this situation, that there might actually be more going on behind closed doors than the public is made aware of. Is that what you're trying to sell us on right now?
It might seem like a big stretch, but that could be the case, No,
that is a good point. And you have been very upfront about the DJ Wagner aspect of this, because he's one of those guys that we're kind of sitting around like, hey, what are you going to do, buddy? DJ Wagner's not the type of guy to tweet out every time he's going to the grocery store and tweet out, hey, I'm not leaving the school that I'm currently at. And so that is a good point that we might not get some of that. But that's why it's like the Hog fans always are looking for like the writing on the wall. They're always looking for something. They're checking the Instagram likes. They're checking all these different things. Hell, we got a few people in the chat who have taken it upon themselves to start DMing the players right away and just trying to get the reports that way. But all of it, again, just kind of what makes this time of year so fun is that, there's so many possibilities. Your imagination can run wild. But what's funny about it is it's really not like that much. I mean, there's 12 spots, give or take a couple here or there. Maybe we'll go with the 9-man thing again. But it's weird how right now it feels like nothing has been set in stone. There's nothing going on with this Arkansas roster. But we could look up in a week when 2 of these decisions have been made, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, there's really not that much left to happen. And so there's so much riding on this offseason. Arkansas fans need some good news, some goodwill in this offseason. But it is interesting how, like, it's only going to really take 1 or 2 big splashes for it to completely change the way we feel. Like right now, we really do have this sinking pit in our stomach of like, oh man, they're getting dominated in the portal. This sucks, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden you land 2 guys and it's like, all right, now we're kind of set.
Mm-hmm. I want you 2 guys to tell me what I'm saying that's controversial right now. What am I saying that's controversial? Let me know.
You were saying that sometimes there might be decisions made behind closed doors without there being an announcement.
Okay, I guess that's crazy talk.
I didn't take it that way, but that's just how, again, people are on edge and they're going to take it however they want to take it. So.
It's crazy talk, man.
Yeah. But I tell you what, we'll use that as part of our What to Watch presented by Bryant Technologies. We'll also get to your chats here in a bit, folks. But Bryant Technologies is dedicated to delivering that high-quality network infrastructure and security camera solutions, where they take pride in exceptional workmanship and commitment to keeping your business operations seamlessly connected and secure. Whether it's structured cabling, security camera installation, digital signage, or TV mounting, Bryant Technologies has you covered. They service the entire state of Arkansas as well as all the bordering states of Arkansas, which we know is a lot of you that are out there. So have Bryant Technologies help you with all the network and security needs you could possibly want for your home as well as your business by giving them a call today at 870-883-0330. That's 870-883-0330. You can also check out their website at bryantstechnologies.com with an S in between, bryantstechnologies.com. It's Bryant Technologies, quality work guaranteed. Now, the what to watch for, and it's something that I know, Curtis, you've brought up and talked about, and it seems to be maybe the interesting talking point now is the situation where Boogie Flan might be playing college basketball for another year, but it may not be at Arkansas. So that was one of the things I feel like people maybe assumed that it was just going to be a go to the NBA, try to get drafted and all of that. But it seems like there's been some smoke behind the fire that Boogie Flan might be returning to college basketball for another season.
We'll see. I don't know. Maybe he comes back to Arkansas. Maybe he goes to the portal. Maybe he goes to the NBA. I don't know. But there's been talk behind the scenes that a return could be on the table. I mean, he was a projected lottery pick, and then he got hurt, and now he's a projected second-round pick. Like, he would be drafted, but it seems to me like he could come back and have a healthy season and really kind of reclaim that top-end draft status that he had. And he'd probably be better, right? Bigger, faster, stronger, you would imagine, as a second-year player. You're the one with the transfer portal scoops there, John. So I'll let you handle that. But a potential return to the college game could be a thing.
Well, and regardless of what happens with the Boogie Fland situation, our mindset in terms of the big picture, I feel like I said it, I can't remember what it was, maybe Monday or Tuesday. I was saying that this Razorback coaching staff, I would imagine, could not be operating after the season ended as if Boogie Fland was returning. I still think at the end of the day, if you get him back, obviously cool. You make room for a guy that talented no matter what, if that's something you can do. But in terms of like, is that something they're operating in the portal? Because we talked about, hey, we don't see him connected to a ton of guards. I don't know if, maybe that's a Boogie Fland situation. Maybe that's a DJ Wagner, or it's just you have two very talented freshman backcourt players coming in. I don't know, but I still kind of view Boogie as like icing on the cake. And obviously he's an unbelievable talent. Like, it's probably selling him short a little bit, but I can't imagine that many Hog fans went into this offseason being like, hey, got to have Boogie Fland back. Like, that's got to be a big part. Now, again, if you do make that happen, if he does want to come back, cool, we can have that conversation. But I still think Hog fans should view it through that lens of, if Boogie Fland comes back, awesome. But I don't think it should be the expectation just based on everything. But who knows? These things change every day. And again, like I said, if he is able to come back for Arkansas, of course you make room for him. But I also feel like if he opts to go somewhere else, or if he opts to go to the draft, or if he opts to come back to college and transfer, I also don't think there's going to be a ton of Hog fans who are going to like freak out about that necessarily, especially with how many we're talking crazy about him all year.
Well, yeah. I think that's the key point there. And so there's two ways to look at this. One, people think, and I get it, because I look at it and I feel the exact same way about, if all these guys come back, like how would it work? Like, it feels like a log jam. But if you take DJ, Boogie, Acuff, and Malik Thomas, like those four guys, and you're like, how in the world are they going to do that? Well, consider Rob Dillingham and Reed Shepherd and DJ Wagner and Antonio Reeves a year ago. They figured it out, and all those guys are playing over 20 minutes per game. It's a very similar type of situation there. I have two questions. One, who would be the better fit between DJ or Boogie if you were to get one of those guys back and not the other? And then two, if we were to think, all right, if like considering if Boogie Fland came back to college, but he wanted to go somewhere else, well, why would he do that? Maybe, just maybe, because as soon as he left, the entire fan base and all the national media and everybody that was outside the walls of that building are like, that dude's out of here, and Arkansas is all of a sudden such a better team. You think he doesn't hear that stuff? So if he was to leave, I would imagine that would be part of it, if I'm being honest. But it wouldn't be because John Calipari said, yeah, hey, you know what? We're good, man. We're going to go in a different direction. You think he wants to lose a burger boy if he could bring him back? Cal doesn't operate that way. He's helping families, right? So if that means keeping you for a year and rebuilding your draft stock, okay, we can do that. Otherwise, let's go get you to the league so I can add that to my tally. Like, that is the John Calipari MO for sure. So people thinking that he's like sitting down having these conversations with Boogie or DJ or whoever going, yeah, it's probably best if you just move on and go somewhere else. Ain't no way. There ain't no way that's happening.
Yeah. Cal loves his burger boys, and he loves his burger boys where he can get seconds of them. And
that's right.
Having it for year 2, year 3, or in some cases year 4 for certain players. Yeah, he's all about it. So, but to me, just going off a gut feeling, I'm not going to sit here and break down their tape and who I think would be better. But, if I had my choice, just to be honest, between DJ and Boogie to come back next year, I'm taking DJ. And it's nothing against Boogie. It's not like I'm like, oh, Boogie's trash. It's just we saw a DJ Wagner the whole season, and I like what he did. And not to say that Boogie didn't do good things, because he did. I mean, he was leading the team in scoring for a while. I mean, he had a great assist to turnover ratio when he was healthy. And he had some moments. But if it's just going off of, hey, you can only have one or the other, I'm taking DJ, plain and simple.
I also think the elephant in the room here is also Boogie Fland would not be coming back to Arkansas for $0. DJ would not be coming back to Arkansas for $0. And hell, anybody we're talking about, like these are the things you kind of have to think about. I like this comment from our very own producer, Michelle, who says, I hate making big decisions, especially big ones. It might not be easy for some of these guys to make life decisions in 1 week. This is something that we overlook all the time, is that we just are kind of viewing these guys like this is NBA 2K, and we're like, hey, let's throw these skill sets together and like, let's just make it work. You can imagine how tough it is for guys like Boogie, guys like DJ or whoever it is, or these portal guys to be making these decisions. Also pretty tough for this coaching staff. Like, how do you sit down and have that conversation with Boogie Flan where you're like, we'd love for you to come back, but, it's like, these are really tough. Like, these are real humans that interact with each other all the time. And they have way more experiences together, that being Boogie, DJ, Cal, all these guys. This is like the idea that like Arkansas should just be having all these decisions wrapped up and we should all know what's going on right now. There's a lot of moving parts in these situations. And so I don't envy this coaching staff to have some of these conversations and make some of these decisions, especially when you're talking about the money aspect of it. And we allocate some money here, and then we've got this money here, and we're kind of in the native mint mix, so we might have to set aside some money. Like, it's a lot going on. And so it's going to be crazy, and there's so many different possibilities. But I do want people to remember that, like, these are actual human beings. And I'm not trying to do the thing where I'm like, hey, we shouldn't be allowed to talk about this kind of stuff. We shouldn't pocket watch and all that. But it is like not that simple of just, oh yeah, Boogie, yeah, we're better without him. Get him out of here. Oh, DJ, he's overrated as 5-star. Get him out of here. Like, there's a lot that goes into this. And like I said, I don't envy this coaching staff who has to kind of manage all these personalities, all these egos, and manage these high level decisions that the fan base like us, we're going to yell at them no matter what they do.
Yeah. And then also going with with the transfer portal season and everything, you learn something new. There's surprises each and every day. Like seeing today that Tremont Marks going back to Texas. Did not know that was still a thing that could be possible. But hey, Tremont Mark, you get to see him again twice next year for Arkansas. So there's always a lot of surprises that are going along with it. But it's just a matter of, can Arkansas, for the fans' sake and for our sake and everyone's sake, just have some good surprises coming up here soon. We'll see. But they're going to have a team. It's going to be put together. It's going to be talented. It's just a matter of finding out when, where, how, who, all those things. It's going to happen. So, but let's continue to move it on here, because I know we got a lot of people in the chat that we'll get to. So let's go ahead and do a little vibe check presented by Basis Health. Our friends over at Basis Health are changing the way that healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home. A doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. Basis Health is there for when you need them and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org today. Appreciate our guy Dre, who's always in the chat, one of our favorite chatters, being a partner with us here at Inside Arkansas. So, all right. So a few people here in the chat we'll get to. First off, shout out to Quinn. Super Chat says, I saw that y'all saw my Field of 68 appearance. Yes, we did.
Cheating on us is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But
We saw you're in the big leagues now. You're a little too big for your britches now.
Yeah. Just remember, it's like, in the Wolf of Wall Street, you were married to us in the beginning, but then you got Margot Robbie in the next thing. So everyone forgets about the you cheating on us and everything like that. But that's okay. Quinn, that was pretty cool though. It was cool for you, Quinn, and it was great that you put T.O. in a body bag. That was awesome.
Absolutely love that. Yeah, that was electric, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, and have fun, Quinn. Behave yourself out there.
Good luck to Auburn too.
Yeah, good luck to Auburn for sure.
Congratulations on Keyshawn Hall.
Yeah,
yes,
big one.
Big body, man. Big body scorer, man. That's a big time addition.
He is a Bruce Pearl type of wing too. It's a good fit.
He's like, you know what he is, Curtis? He's like Katie Johnson if he were on steroids and good at basketball.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Could you imagine that for a second?
Yeah, that's a good player.
Yeah, you could have put a lot of different players in that. You could have said like that's like Andrew Ellis if he was good at basketball and like just all this thing. Yeah, he could have done anything. But yes, that's pretty good. But I did laugh. What do y'all think of? And it's just an opinion. I get it, but Keyshawn Hall said he wanted to play for the best coach in college basketball, which is Bruce Pearl. You think he's the best coach in college basketball?
No, but I think an argument could be made. Like he's one of the. I think.
I also don't have a problem. I understand like how we have to pretend and suspend disbelief. I also don't have a problem with a kid committing to a coach and then calling that coach the best coach in the country. Like if he had committed to Arkansas, he would have said the same shit about Cal. Like I really don't care that much. I would have liked for Arkansas to land Keyshawn Hall, but I'm not butthurt over him calling the coach he just signed with the best coach in the country.
It was more of just like, it made me think where is Bruce Pearl on the pecking order? When you think of the best college basketball coaches in college right now,
top 7.
Yeah, I think so. He's definitely a guy that players probably love to play for too, because he really lets you rock. And like those wings that they have, those guards take some horrible shots, but he loves it. Like he empowers them to do that, and gives them a bunch of confidence to play with. And so he's got that going for him. And he's also made the flex offensive system exciting and modernized. So from a Chalk Talk standpoint, I gotta give him a little bit of credit there too. He does a good job, man. He really does.
Yeah. Because I was trying to think of the coaches that just have. There's only 2 coaches, I believe, with multiple national championships in college basketball, with Hurley and Self. I think they're still head coaches. And
I can't think of another one. Who else would?
Yeah, and a couple of them that have one, with like Cal's one of them. Tom Izzo still is one of them. I'm missing somebody, but still,
Tom Izzo's on a 25-year drought.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Bob Stoops, man. Like he becomes a coach and just wins a championship, and he rides that till the cows come home. From ever since that point. But yeah, let's see. Also, shout out to Kingsley. Says it's his birthday today. Cheers in the chat. Happy birthday, Kingsley.
Happy birthday. Big time.
Yeah. I don't know why you're
doing this. Hey, tell Takasha I'm sorry about what the Diamond Hogs did this past weekend. That was mean. Yeah. They didn't need to do that. They didn't need to expose Vanderbilt like that. But hope y'all have a great celebration.
The best thing Kingsley could do for his birthday is cook something up for himself. He's a chef, man. It's crazy. I don't know, put something on the smoker, or do that over the top chili or something. Like, treat yourself.
Yeah, little birthday brisket.
Yeah,
treat yourself by cooking for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, same thing. Like, happy birthday, but you pay us money. Like, you pay us $2.
Yeah, what the heck,
man? Come on, man.
We would have read that anyway. Yeah,
seriously. Yeah, but we appreciate it though. Jeff says, say what you will about coaching results, but has Cal ever had an issue with getting talent? If some portal entry that I have never heard of before goes to X university, it doesn't faze me.
Yeah, I mean, there's zero doubt that he's going to have a super, super talented roster. I mean, that's a given with that man. Now, does it always, come together and mesh? Does it take time? Or there setbacks? You never know. But they always have like the on paper vibes of being one of the more talented teams in the country, any roster he puts together. And yeah, I mean, who cares if guys you never heard of go elsewhere? But, in fairness, and just because we know that they're going to be fine doesn't mean we have to, manipulate the facts or anything. Like, there have been a couple guys here, Morez Johnson and Keyshawn Hall, that they've been heavily involved with, and, NIL packages out there and everything, that have chosen to go elsewhere, that they would have liked to have, but they'll be okay. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm with you.
I mean, listen, they need a big body and they need a shooter. You didn't necessarily have to get Morez Johnson and Keyshawn Hall, but you have to still get a big body and a scorer or a shooter on the wing, though. So it's like the names, I understand that, of like guys who a week ago nobody was talking about. Now all of a sudden it's like a disaster because they didn't get them. But I like what you said, Curtis. Like you still do need to go out there and get guys.
Also, Trey wants to know, are all the coaches staying?
We'll see. I mean, I think that there's going to be some movement, easily enough. Or first off, Bruiser Flint has been a name that's been connected to Miami for a while now, since Jai Lucas got that job. And, he was at Kentucky for a while under Cal. Him and Bruiser know each other. And that kind of felt like a foregone conclusion. I've heard that maybe Bruiser was looking at some, like low majors or different jobs to see if he could get a head coaching gig before he might take that. I haven't heard anything about that in the last few days. I would assume that might be something that still happens. So he's the first name. Now, these other guys, though, I mean, we think Kenny Payne going to get another head coaching job right now? Probably not. Chin Coleman, Chuck Martin, those guys seem pretty locked in. Although I can't remember which one of them it was in the preseason that Cal said, "Hey, this is going to be my next head coach on the coaching tree." It was one of the two between Chuck or Chin. I just don't know if that's going to happen this year. So I bet they wind up running it back with most of these guys, but I could see a change or two. And they have an extra assistant coach spot that they didn't fill this year. It's like you could still see some new coaches added, even if nobody left.
Well, I mean, after going to games and seeing how many, I think they may have to add a third row to their bench because of the amount of people on staff. I mean, it's unreal, that amount of people that they have working behind the scenes. So Jose says, for me, it's not that I'm freaking out or worried. I just want us to have something else to talk about, LOL. And I just want us to get excited for the team all over again.
Heard that, brother.
Yeah, I was going to say, I started that one because I feel you. I've been waiting until late at night to record the pod at the Palaces to go out the next morning. And yesterday was definitely a day where I was like, man, like we really need some sort of news to react to, because there'll be a couple new names every day, and you can take some different angles or have a different theme every time you talk about it. But a lot of it just becomes regurgitated. It's like, yeah, we're waiting on retention, and these are the big needs, and so yeah, sign me up for some kind of news for sure.
Yeah, I'd be fine with a John Rothstein tweet of saying, breaking so-and-so at Arkansas is currently more than likely leaning towards possibly returning next season. Just something to where it's so vague, but it gets people fired up because Rothstein tweeted it or something. Just do something like that, and at least we can mix it up a little bit.
Give me that.
Let's see. Also, Hunter says, I think a lot of us are forgetting that we have a GM who specializes in basketball.
Well, can you blame us for forgetting? Because we haven't heard from the bruv in months. I mean, literally, we have not heard the dude's name since he got hired.
That follow on Twitter, though.
Listen. We were very complimentary of the hire. And I'm not saying he hasn't been doing anything. We don't know, but like, I think it is kind of weird that we have not heard anything on that front at all, right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, because he officially started Tuesday. That wasn't his first official day, April 1st or whatever. I think that was the case. But also at the same time, I don't know. Like he's going to be involved and kind of overseeing everything. He's got to be in lockstep with where especially when revenue sharing passes. I guess Monday, I think, is when that vote is. Like he's got to be, dialed in on all that stuff. But when it comes to basketball, let's be honest. I mean, he specializes, and he was a scout and everything like that, so he could be a valuable resource. But John Calipari is your head coach. Like I don't know how deeply involved he'll be with basketball as opposed to football, where Sam Pittman's basically just been like, good Lord, give me somebody so I can just coach ball and y'all can figure out this other stuff. Go down the hallway and see Remy. Okay. But I mean, my goodness, man.
Yeah. I wonder, do you think that there'll ever be even like a press conference with this guy? Because there's been some other roles that they've thrown in that they've had press conferences for. And I just was wondering is that ever going to happen, or is he just going to be literally like behind the scenes World Wide West that they know of him, but they don't really know how much involvement that he has? He works in the shadows.
John, that's a great question. I would love for a press conference to be held with him.
I really don't know. Like, I mean, especially because apparently he's the GM of the entire state of Arkansas, like he's running everything. It's like, if you're going to put this guy as the president of the University of Arkansas, we need to hear from him. I'd like to, see something. And again, we love the hire. And like, what did you say? He's been the GM for 2 days now, or 3 days, or whatever it is. But I do think it is weird that it was like a cool thing. It's like, oh yeah, they landed this thing, and then we haven't heard anything. Like, there hasn't been an introduction. There hasn't been a tweet. There hasn't been anything.
Oh, it's all right. Just I'm sure he'll have an interview on Hogs Plus here soon to talk about it. Let's see. Also, Zane says, would Nate Ament solve some of the 3-point shooting concerns?
Yes. No, he definitely would. The only thing I'll say is that people would still be questioning it more than they would if they wound up getting Lamar Wilkerson or somebody like that, just because it's a freshman. Like, you never know how it's going to translate from high school to college until you get there. I think it'd be just fine for a guy like him, but that's something to consider for sure. But yeah, he's a 6'9", 40%-ish type of 3-point shooter. Like he can get them up. It's not like he is not going to be able to get his shots up when he's closely guarded or whatever, because he's going to be 6 inches taller than anybody on the wing who's trying to defend him. But yeah, he would help.
Also, are there already 3-point shooting concerns? We don't even know the roster. How are there 3-point shooting concerns? I mean, I know it wasn't a great shooting team this past year, but it's like, is that something we're like already worried about? I thought we were worried about the big men. You
must not have been on the portal page of the Discord for the last hour before the show.
I was,
but it's just like, running it back. And so if anybody's like, oh, well, what if they bring a Dude Thero back? Oh, he can't shoot. You can't do it. Well, what if DJ comes back? Well, he can't shoot. It doesn't help us. Like they're going to add guys. And, like if they get, like, who would be the shooters, that you would be able to bring back on this roster? It'd be like Carter, who you think would probably at least be the same or maybe better. He shot the crap out of it, the back half of SEC play. Trevin, who really came on strong. And then like the hypothetical with Boogie, which I'm obviously very skeptical about still, but yeah, like we know they got to go add some guys for sure.
Yeah. I was trying to think of just, it made me wonder. We talking about big guys like him, Nate Ament shooting threes. Like over the past like 10, 15 years, who's been the best like 6'9" or above 3-point shooter? Not saying just statistically, but just in your mind of like,
For
this guy
Arkansas,
shot
or you mean
three.
in general?
For Arkansas.
Zvonimir Vidic.
I mean, that's what I was kind of going towards. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
it has to be him. I was trying to think of any other examples. I mean, like I said, Bobby Portis wasn't an awful 3-point shooter, but it wasn't necessarily his game. I was trying to think of like Stanley Amude was almost there. He's 6'8", so I'm not going to classify him, but he was pretty good.
Portis, it's kind of weird with Portis that, I mean, in the NBA, Bobby Portis is like a dead eye, like one of the better stretch fives in the league. He really didn't shoot a ton of threes at Arkansas. I don't know how many threes he took his sophomore year, maybe one or two a game, but like in hindsight, Arkansas probably should have utilized Portis a little bit more creatively.
Vegas Vance, if they would have just let him rock, let my man Vance Jackson cook, he would have made a lot of threes.
Yeah.
Oh well, I guess we'll never know.
I'm still going back to the days of if you guys remember Michael Jones back in the Stan Heath days of he was like a 6'9" 3-point shooter. Someone like him. I mean, Dwight Stewart was pretty good at 3 points when he just put the ball behind his head and shot it up. But yeah, Big Z might be honestly the best big man 3-point shooter that you've had here, at least at Arkansas over the past few years. Let's see. Also, John C says not getting Lamar Wilkerson, an Arkansas kid, would be a huge miss.
I feel you. I mean, it's just because one of the glaring needs that you have is a shooter, and he made over 100 at him and shot like 50% from there. So it makes a lot of sense to have somebody in your backyard to be able to come in and fill that role. It's just, if you really look at it, what exactly is that role? And because I'm sure that an in-state kid from Ashdown and everything, like there's some appeal to coming to Arkansas, representing the home state school, playing for a Hall of Fame coach, like all that would be awesome. I'm sure he grew up thinking, man, it'd be pretty sweet to play at Bud Walton Arena, But at the same time, you've got a bunch of other schools who are after him, who have similar amounts of NIL, like Kansas, for example, and Bill Self. They don't have a roster, so they can look at him and be like, "Yo, it nothing but air and opportunity for you, buddy, to get those shots up." And you look at Arkansas, and we just talked about it with the backcourt as you're waiting for clarity. Like, Lamar's a guy who could really probably play the 2 or the 3, and just look at it, and it's like, well, for now, I mean, it's DJ and Boogie and Acuff and Thomas and Knox and Richmond, some combination of those guys. Like, I get in where I fit in, or do I go somewhere where I know that I've got that carved out for me? That's just something that he's really going to have to consider, which is another reason why again, they probably know more than we do behind the scenes, but like, you would like to hear some clarity in that backcourt. That way you could really pitch that, because I'm sure Bill Self, if he knows he's recruiting against Arkansas right now, he's like, I have Darren Peterson coming in and nobody else on my roster, my guy. Arkansas's got 15 guards over there. What are we even talking about here? That's part of the game.
It's very interesting with Wilkerson because obviously, I mean, he's got, what do you average, 20 points a game, and he's pretty much, his numbers have grown exponentially each year. So you can kind of talk yourself into the idea that, hey, this guy's still evolving. He averaged around, I think it was like 2 assists, 2 turnovers, like almost dead even assist to turnover ratio. So when I see Wilkerson, I kind of want him to be in that Nelly role where he's basically just the spot up shooter. And obviously he's going to do a little bit more than that. You're going to create offense for him. You're going to run stuff for him. But I don't know if I necessarily view him as like the ball handler creator that's going to be like the centerpiece of everything. But I think if you're Arkansas, you have to lie to this kid and you have to say, hey, look, you got these 2 freshmen. We don't really trust them. We don't really expect them to be running the offense. You're going to be running the show. And then when he gets here, say, actually, you're a spot up shooter and we're going to use you like Klay Thompson, and you're going to shoot 12 threes a game at a high volume, and you're going to make 41% of them. But I do think that's a very interesting point, though, Curtis, to your point. Like, pretty much everybody that we know might come back for this Razorback team is like 6'2" to 6'6". And so if you're Lamar Wilkerson, I could see how that would be a little bit of a point of hesitancy.
Well, and also, too, I'm just speaking for the fan perspective. It was weird. It's not bad. It was just weird that there was not an Arkansas kid on the roster this past season. And it's not, again, not saying it's bad. It's just you get so used to almost seeing a kid that you watched in high school or whatever, and every single year, it felt like I had at least one, even if they didn't play a lot, which shout out to Lawson Blake. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm talking about, guys that actually played because, even under Muss, it seemed like you had the guys, some of the best recruits coming out of the state that were on the roster. And of course, Mike Anderson was really big on that. So this past year, when you look at the entire roster and the ones that play, you're like, no one from the state of Arkansas. It's almost a weird thing, not a bad thing, just different. So surely they won't make it 2 years in a row where they don't have an Arkansas.
Well, they already got one.
They got Sealy coming in, which is good. But yeah, I think I'm with you. I thought about that a lot, and I always kind of have gone back to this year. And I know what you're saying. Like, it's not bad. It was just a thing that just, it felt off. It was kind of crazy. But I was always thinking, like, who could it have been? It's like, well, just Debo, or I guess they could have maybe tried to keep Blocker. And then those freshmen, I know it was Honor Boateng, who's at Missouri and didn't play there. Like, I guess there were a handful of guys. It would have been, I think I'm with you. Like, if you're only gonna have 9 dudes anyway, it would have been kind of cool if they would have at least had one of them or kept a guy or something.
Lane Taylor?
No. But no, in all honesty, like because we talked how long about, man, it's just kind of weird because it feels like this team and the fan base isn't as connected as it usually is. And it feels like they're not relating. They don't know these guys or whatever. You know what they do know? If there's a comma Arkansas by the hometown on the roster and then they're all over it. And they didn't have that. And maybe that would have helped speed things up a little bit in that regard. Yeah.
Well, as long as Wilkerson, I saw he's number 3. I don't. So if he comes, that means Adu Theroux can't come back because they're not. Someone's got to be number 3, so they can't have that. That's not allowed. They can't have the same number. So, but
they can arm wrestle over it or something.
My money's on
that's
Theroux.
not fair. Maybe like
my money's on Theroux in that one. If it's any sort of like physical, like gladiator moments, it's no offense to Lamar Wilkerson, but I think it's probably going to be Theroux that comes out on top in that one. Also, before we move on, just a shout out to Dre. Says, cool tuning in and seeing my company as the sponsor. Ha! You know what is cool? It's really cool that you are partners with Inside Arkansas because that's what the cool companies do. They partner with us here in Inside Arkansas. So, between that and as we saw the Eye Center, shout out to them for us being an official sponsor of Pod at the Palace.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, I will say,
see you tomorrow. Like,
side note, I have only been to the eye doctor one time in my life. I probably should go again, but when I went, it was about 12, 13 years ago. They said I had 20/10 vision, and I'm like, I never want to go back. Never want to go back because I know if I go back to rank, well, actually, you need these things. Like, no, I got lucky. My entire family all have glasses and contacts. I avoided that. So,
dude, I literally cannot wait to get over there and get some specs, man. Like, these are just blue light blockers, but it's not helping me at all. But I've got perfect vision in the left eye, the right eye, not so much. That's why sometimes I'm like, I'm really trying to see something on the court. That's the way to do it. I got one nearsighted, one farsighted. It's a freaking mess, man. So, got the prescription, and I told you guys before the show started, I'm trying to get a normal pair of specs, some prescription shades, some goggles for my activities of athletic venture. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to getting over there, man.
Yeah. What is it? The Gunners, the one that the video game people wear? They're like yellow tints. Yeah. And we need to invest in some of those or something like that. So, but all right, we'll continue to get to your chats, folks, and we'll continue to move through a few things here as well. But this is just far as our Alumni Hall question of the day. It's mainly for the chat and for us. Appreciate Alumni Hall being partners with us here at Inside Arkansas. We're going to be live from Alumni Hall 2 weeks from today. So that Friday of the Texas A&M series here in Fayetteville at noon on that Friday, we will be there because I think, that's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. So we'll be kind of the halftime show, if you will, between the series. But we'll be there live at Alumni Hall, 3417 North College Avenue. So you can shop them there, or you can go online to InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall. And if you use that promo code HOGSBY20, you get 20% off your purchase. They got all the great Razorback apparel that you could possibly want. And there's no place else you need to go because they have it all. So check it out today at Alumni Hall. This is just like a scale of 1 to 10. It's a simple thing, 10 being the most confident. But how confident are you that this roster will be better talent-wise than what it was a year ago? 1 to 10 confidence level.
8.5.
Okay. I was going to say 8. So that's pretty close to it.
I'm glad we all are. I was going to say 8 as well. That was like exactly where I was at. And so I felt very vindicated whenever Curtis said 8.5. 8. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to do the revisionist history thing and be like, oh, last year's roster sucked. And because at the time last year, we were like, hey, awesome freshman class. You get the 2 top transfers. Of course, those 2 transfers did not necessarily give you the full season worth of stuff. You also had Boogie Flan get hurt. You also only had 9 guys, which we all kind of knew in the moment was a little bit of a thing. But I don't want to downplay last year's roster and be like, oh, it should 1,000% be twice as talented. I do think they're going to have a better, deeper, more well-rounded roster. And they might not be as dependent on the 2 fresh. Hopefully, they're not as dependent on these 2 freshmen. But I do think I don't want to over or undersell last year's roster, because at the time last year I was fine with it. I was like, this is a good roster. It's
super hard not to be skewed when you think about it, when Jonas just wasn't healthy the entire year until the end. You didn't really know what Nelly was until midway through the year. He had the wrist thing. And it's like injuries did impact that. My thought process on it is you'll have more bodies, which I think is going to help there. And then I don't think I know, this year's freshman class just nationally is stronger than last year's, outside of the very top end, outside of the Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper range. Outside of that, it's deeper, it's better. I think the freshmen that Arkansas have coming in are more talented coming in than last year's were. And the hope is that you're bringing 2 or 3 of those guys back, right? Who are going to be better players than they were coming in. So if you have retention and then you're adding, a couple burger boys and some top end transfers, why wouldn't it be better? I felt like coming into this knowing, that Calipari was, he arrived late or whatever. And yeah, he had some guys already, but it was going to be kind of a patchwork roster the first year. I went into this thinking, all right, this might be his least talented roster at Arkansas, and I'm going to continue to believe that way until I'm proven otherwise.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. And in fact, I wish I could go back. I'm sure I can. Just take some time and find that tweet that Kentucky fans just kept trolling me for before the Kentucky game, of listing out the 5 players that Arkansas had at the time last year. And I was like, hey, you can win this 20 games, 20 wins right there with this roster. And they're like, oh, what do you think now? Burr, burr, burr. It's like, yeah, well, I was right, because they did win 20 games. So just saying, I'm vindicated in that. But that's the deal, is just I have confidence. And with you, Curtis, until I'm proven otherwise, I'm going to be okay. Same with the transfer portal. Same with all this stuff with Cal. Until it's just if we get to this point and we see this roster and it looks like the John Pelfrey roster with Montrell McDonald and random stuff like that, then okay, maybe we can start having some freakouts, but not at this point.
Dude, Louisville is going absolutely nuts in the portal.
Who'd they get now?
Crazy. They just got Isaac McNeely from Virginia. I mean, he's one of the top 2 or 3 shooters in the portal. They just gone out in this backcourt. We saw one of their McDonald's All-Americans playing last night, and they got the Ryan Conwell kid. They got somebody else. I can't remember who. And then they got Isaac McNeely now. I mean, he shot 42% from 3 in the ACC last year. That's guard you over there, man. Those dudes are loading up. When they said Pat Kelsey was going to have that $10 million in NIL, he's already spent it. It's I don't know what he's going to go out and get in his front court, but my God, talk about spending your money early. They're doing it.
Yeah. Because what was it? I think On3 said just using Arkansas, Kentucky, and Louisville as the, we're never going to know the exact number, but 3 of the bigger spenders in NIL. So Louisville's definitely flexing that part of it, man.
Insane. They got the kid from the really good mid-major player, one of the best guards, who was from Tuscaloosa and had Alabama and Auburn in his finalists, and Louisville wound up getting him. That was the other guy that they got.
That Papa John bag is it's clearing, huh?
Bro, yum.
Yeah, Papa John. He's still not involved, by the way. That's random, but that guy, didn't he kind of get?
He got phased out a little bit. Yeah, he to the point where he went and sat at a Cal game at Kentucky and was wearing Kentucky blue, and they were the Louisville fans were which frankly they should be offended by that.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough. Because didn't Shaquille O'Neal buy something in it?
I was going to say, didn't Shaq assume that
the Papa John
position? Shaq and Peyton Manning in there too for a while.
They do have the Shaq-a-roni pizza for sure.
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, why not? With the money that Shaq has and his endorsements, why not? Just go ahead and throw it in there.
I haven't had Papa John's in a minute.
Man, I can tell you the last time I've had like delivery style pizza. It's been a minute too. Because only ice cream gets delivered to me. Apparently, that's the only thing I actually
And Taco Bell.
And Taco Bell. Yeah.
Hey, Andrew, you remember we were in Providence and it's 2:00 in the morning and John came sprinting back up the stairs and said, "I'm going to have this rectified immediately."
I was so mad. They gave, for context, I ordered us each our own individual pints of ice cream, and they delivered it, and they only gave us one, and I was
Brutal
pissed.
beat.
I was pissed, and I was like, I paid for this. This aggression cannot stand, and I was looking so forward to it. But anyways, long story short, Arkansas needs a Ben & Jerry's store, because that freshly packed stuff, game changer. Game changer ice cream. Actually, they don't need that because I'll be sick. But I want some credit from y'all real quick. I did not order a single scoop of ice cream in San Francisco. I said no ice cream, and I held it to my word.
You did. Oh yeah, you deserve credit for that. You said it, and you were a man of your word throughout the trip.
That's all I got. That's the only thing that matters. The second just didn't order ice cream. Shout out to Witty and Super Chase says they'll get you hooked up, John. Get you some Botox while you're there talking about the eye center. Well, I don't know. I know what Botox is, but I don't know what it does for eyes. Like, I honestly don't. So I assume it's good. It helps you. Or
apparently Botox has a lot of therapeutic benefits besides plumping you up.
No. Well, everybody, I mean, come on. Like everyone
accuses me of making fun of you. I don't know, but
I'd say everyone accused me of getting Botox and, waxings as it is. So it's like, what's one more thing? So, also, shout out to David. Says, I ordered a shirt for each show this morning, hoping 2X is good for the tall folk and doesn't look like a parachute. But
I think it will be. I have an XL, and I'm 6'4", and it's a little lengthy, but it's not like super wide. I hate the shirts that are extra wide. I prefer them to be a little bit longer on you. That way you wash them, and sometimes they become like a crop top. The super wide ones, they get shorter, but they stay wide. And I'm like, I can't wear this. I look like an idiot. So hopefully this one just shrinks just a tad bit, and it's going to be a perfect wear.
Worst case scenario, you've got a shirt to sleep in,
That's right.
Sure.
Or I give it to my wife. One of the two. She hasn't taken her Pie of the Palace hoodie off since we left that morning for San Francisco. I'm not trying to say she stinks, but it's probably due for a wash, But anyway.
Yeah. She might be just washing it when she gets into the shower, just not taking it off.
It very well could be the case. So
yeah, that's good. But no, we appreciate it. I saw your order, David, and we'll get those out to you as soon as possible. It's cool seeing people wearing our shirts with Inside Arkansas, Odd at the Palace, Bombastic, and having it all there. So we really appreciate the support, because honestly, real quick on side of that, it's like we appreciate all the super chats that we get and our sponsorships and just the generosity from all of you. But the main reason it wanted to do merchandise is like, okay, well, if you're gonna support us, which we love and appreciate, at least let us get you something. At least let us get you a shirt to wear or a hat for a Bombastic or whatever it is. So, but yeah, we appreciate the amount of people that purchased them and are rocking them. I expect every Razorback game for you to have it on. That's what they're built for. But I know you won't. But it's the thought that counts. So Quinn, our guy, Super Chat says Charles Barkley being here in San Antonio is going to be hilarious because he loves roasting them San Antonio women. I didn't even think about that with Auburn, San Antonio, but yeah, that's
Did y'all
great.
see the video of Auburn and they were like greeting them as they got to San Antonio? They had some women out there dancing, and
Good.
I mean, listen, like they had women out there dancing. I'm just saying, like, did not dispel the stereotype at all.
Oh, what is it that Barkley says? That's a gold mine for Weight Watchers, and says Victoria's definitely a secret down there. And man, I mean, just all the roasting. That's like that. I love the inside the NBA or NBA on TNT, but man, I know they're going to ESPN, but those are some of the greatest and funniest moments of all time. So
yes, absolutely.
Between that, and I think he also said that they invented the toothbrush down there because they only have one tooth. It's not teeth brush, something like that. I don't know, just dumb stuff. Ryan also says Curtis turning up 4 locos waiting on a portal pop.
Hey, let me tell you something. Those emergency lives that are going to start happening here at any point during portal season, if it comes at night, that might be exactly what's happening. I'm rolling with the liquid death. Rest in peach today. It's good stuff.
Which, by the way, is not a Four Loco, right?
Not a Four Loco.
If you're ripping Four Locos, man, that's. Oof. I don't think I could talk after ripping Four Locos.
Did they ban Four Locos? Is it banned?
I hope not.
Or I think maybe they had to change the recipe or something. But no, they did temporarily, or they're going to take it off shelves or something because it was dangerous.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I always wondered why I was such a fat kid because I used to drink. You guys remember Surge? I used to drink Surge all the time. And
when it made its comeback, it wasn't the same.
It wasn't, because it was almost like the kids that loved it when they were young or older, and like, I can't do this. I can't have a can of 100 grams of sugar. And then the kids these days, I mean, they're all Asian infused drinks and stuff, so they're not going to drink that stuff. So, anyways, yeah, I applaud them for trying, but it just didn't happen that way.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I heard it.
What is that?
I heard it somewhere.
Drink.
Yeah, I just assume it's like something you get at you got to go over to Whole Foods or something. I don't know.
This is a good day.
Yeah, it's a great day. Let's see. Scott says, I had a great time in San Francisco, except for the loss. Stayed for the Florida Tech game and sat with some Florida people. Oh, good, Scott.
Nice.
Yeah. There's a lot of rage. I wish I would have seen how many Razorback fans stayed for that Florida Texas Tech game, if any, because there was a lot of people kind of like us, which luckily we were able to get home a little earlier. But I think there's probably a lot of people that made the return flight on Sunday and were just staying. I mean, me and Curtis did that in Vegas. We watched the UConn and Gonzaga game. So
yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, that was a good time. Vegas, I feel like, is a little bit easier to justify sticking around. You just go to casinos and different things, whatever. San Francisco, I was glad that we wound up having the extra day because I mean, that was an awesome day going to, checking out Chinatown and, getting all over the place, Tipsy Pig and all that. That was cool. But yeah, we really didn't need an extra day.
And getting to meet Andrew's best friend.
Yeah, y'all did get to meet my best friend. That was good. Never mind. Not gonna follow up. But no, I said it on the way out of the airport, and you guys said, you were like, hey, we said this last time, but I don't think I'm going back to San Francisco. Not that it's a bad place. It's you hear all this stuff of like, oh, there's gonna be shit in the streets and there, all this stuff going on. It's really not that. It's just like, I don't know. I'm also like, of all the big cities I've been to, I feel like it's my least favorite.
Yeah. Like, imagine going twice.
Chicago better. I like Houston better.
We'll have to get you to Buffalo sometime.
Yeah, I'll check out Buffalo or Newark. Yeah. Go up there and do that.
David said you literally almost got shot in a Waymo. There's also that. So,
yes, that was a factual.
The Waymo, I gotta be honest. The Waymo was probably the coolest part of our trip. If I'm being honest with you, like, I enjoyed the Waymo.
Things are cool, man. Yeah, obviously that first night when we were in it and all the craziness was happening, but after that, I wasn't even thinking about the fact that there wasn't a human being behind the steering wheel. It wasn't that big of a deal. So,
which is, I don't know if that's good or bad, considering that you get so used to someone not being behind the wheel. It works out, but that's how it was. But still, yeah. I'm good on San Francisco. I was good after once. I'm good after twice. So let's just hope that next year, when Arkansas makes, of course, the Final Four in Indianapolis and everything, that we get some good sites to go to. Maybe OKC, St. Louis. I actually do like OKC would be the closest. St. Louis is not bad, but I kind of want to go to St. Louis so we can get Curtis up there and he can show us the sites. We can check it all out.
Oh, I can show you guys the sites. I could also show you where not to go if you want to keep your windshield and everything on your car. So,
well, maybe we don't have to see that one, but yes, everything else.
And if we timed it right, like we might be able to be there around opening day, which apparently you can go to the Cardinals games for free now because ain't nobody buying tickets based on what I've seen.
Yeah, record low attendance at Busch this year, they're saying.
Man, 21,000 people in there on the first Saturday home game of the season.
What's it seat? Like 60K, 70K?
Like 45, but I can never remember a time that I've been in there and there hasn't been over 35,000 in there. And then it could be on like a Wednesday afternoon, something random. But it's crazy. They ain't having it down there with the current management.
Well, what's sad is I've only been to 2 Major League Baseball games in my life. One of them was the Rangers, and the other one was the Cardinals. But I did get to see Pujols hit a grand slam in that one that I went to. So
That's awesome.
for what it's worth.
I like that a lot.
All right, let's go. We'll get to your chats too, folks. But let's do a little bit. What's more likely? Have some fun with this. And we'll, of course, if you guys have any questions that you want to have for what's more likely, you can enter them into the chat, and we'll probably try to answer them. But it's presented by BetSaracen and the BetSaracen app, the number one sports betting app in the state of Arkansas. They have all the specials going on. Still got that 3-point parlay that you can get a part of when it comes to the Final Four. All those games, Razorback baseball, they got softball specials as well. They have everything. So check them out today by downloading the BetSaracen app on your iPhone or on your Android, or you can check them out at BetSaracen.com. So just a few random ones here. For Arkansas basketball and baseball a little bit. But how about this one? What's more likely, Arkansas to have a better regular season next year or a worse postseason next year?
We're talking basketball, you said?
Yeah, sorry, basketball. Yeah.
I think you said that. I was thinking about St. Louis.
No, you're
anyway, I was just going to say what we would actually do instead of a Cardinals game is I would take you guys to a Blues game, and you would immediately.
I do want to go to a Blues game.
I'd enjoy that.
That would be sick.
So what's more likely? I think Arkansas having a better regular season is extremely likely, right?
I think so too. Like, I would be, frankly, really disappointed if they didn't have a significantly better regular season next year. But man, getting into the tournament and winning is so freaking hard. So I would say more likely better regular season next year. I think it's
possible both of these things happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, I don't want it to happen. I'd love for them to go to the Elite Eight or whatever, but it's like I could see them winning more games in the regular season and not making it to the Sweet 16. You know what I mean? Like, that just seems to be how these things work.
Yeah, don't want that, but it is possible. How about this one's dumb, but this one was submitted. What's more likely, Razorback fans to be excited about the roster or upset about the roster for basketball once it's finalized?
Both. It's going to be both. Like 1,000%, it's going to be both. But we all know once the roster is set, people will be excited no matter what. They could literally get in straight bum cheese and people would still be excited. Just because, like, once they become hogs, they become like we think they're cooler than they are.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's a good point. But
people will be upset the entire time though as it's being built.
Yes.
Because there's going to be, for everybody, there's going to be one type of player that they did not get, and they're going to be like, we're not going to do anything because we didn't get a shooter. We're not going to do anything because we didn't get a big man. We're not going to do anything because we didn't get that defense. We're not going to do anything because we didn't get that guy that does those things that one time. It's just going to happen.
Yeah. So, I can't believe they brought that Bomadou Thero back. Like,
yeah, what trash. You see, Brazil's coming back. I told you we should have gotten rid of him after 4 years. It's going to happen. All right, what's more likely? John Calipari to have a less talented roster next season or Razorback baseball to miss Omaha?
So let me think about this. So we're saying what's more likely, Arkansas missing Omaha this year or John Calipari having a less talented roster? I think Arkansas missing Omaha, right? I mean, like, they've missed it the last 2 years. Like, I think they're better. I think they're going to get back, but it's like, I think we'd be fools to think that's not a very, very serious possibility.
It happened. And it's, got to get through a regional and a super. It's a lot of wins once you get to the postseason to get to Omaha, even if you're a really good team.
Yeah, even if you're the best team in the country, it's kind of hard to get to Omaha.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go there too, especially after the conversation we just had about Cal's rosters moving forward. I don't want to contradict myself. So.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing about the roster. There's no other variables. Obviously, there's other teams you're competing against, but it's like there's enough players out there. Pretty much, nothing has to happen for Arkansas to have a more talented roster other than, retain a couple guys, add a couple guys. Like, I think they can do that. Like, it's pretty. I'd be pretty not stunned, but like it would be pretty surprising. I do want to make it clear. Like, I very much firmly believe Arkansas is going to Omaha, but if we're just doing the numbers, I always try to think of it from a number standpoint.
You're an analytical guy. Yeah.
By the numbers. And finally, this one's for baseball, but what's more likely, Razorback baseball to lose 5 SEC series this year or to win all 10 SEC series?
It's crazy as it sounds. And I just said they aren't a lock to go to Omaha, but I think win all 10 is actually more likely only because I don't think they could lose 5. Like, you could lose to A&M, or you could lose to Tennessee, you could lose to LSU, You could lose to Texas, I get, but it's like I don't think they're going to lose 5
because they've won 3, so they got 7 left for those doing the numbers.
Missouri too, so you're going to have
and
4 SEC series wins. You'd have to go 1 and 5 in those next 5. Like that would I don't think this baseball team is capable of losing 5 SEC series out of 6.
I'm with you. Win 10.
I know and
they're not going to win 10 either. By the way,
I was thinking about the 3 they already played. I forgot that Missouri might be the worst team they've seen all season. Who's coming this weekend?
Plus A&M might suck too.
Yeah.
Sheesh, man. I guess so.
Yeah, pretty much. They're pretty much. They might clinch it by the end of the month.
Yeah, but like I said, Arkansas. Yeah, having those 4 teams that are in the top 5 with you coming up, it's gonna be pretty brutal. But I would just let's go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish. But then I
was just gonna say I was gonna laugh if how Razorback fans would react if Arkansas won all 10 SEC series again, and most of them would just be like pissed off. They'd be like, no, we don't want it. No.
Sweating bullets. Yep. If they won all 10, I would not be thrilled. I'm going to be honest.
Which is such a weird thing, but it's so true. It's like, I don't want them to win all the series. I don't want them to win a bunch. I want them to scale it back a little bit, but
no doubt about it.
Dude, there was, this reminds me, I kind of wanted to rant about this. There was somebody in the Discord live chat the other day, like the game chat on the Sunday game of the Vandy game. And he was like crashing out. Like he was like devastated over them losing the lead. And he was like, God, this is just unacceptable. And we were like, dude, like, and even it's bad when the Discord is like, yo, man, you might be overreacting. You had like the most negative people in the Discord were like, yo, man, it's all right. And he was like, well, I want to win the SEC. And this game is going to matter for the SEC. I don't care about series wins and series losses. It's about games, and we can't afford to lose this game. And I'm like, what's going to happen if Arkansas wins the SEC regular season? Like we've won it like every other year, like they've won a lot of these things. But but some people just like really, it's like they just want to win everything, which makes sense. Obviously, you do want to, every game you play, you want to win. But it is kind of weird how, like, you're right, John. We do the mental gymnastics of like, you don't want to win too much. You do want to win and you want to be good, but you don't want to win that much.
Yeah. I just, what other sport, what other situation could that happen? Well, only for Arkansas. So we got Curtis. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah. I was just going to quickly connect some transfer portal, dots here, I guess, for the Razorbacks and some other things. Trey Donaldson, Michigan's point guard, just committed to Miami. If you listen to Pod the Palace, you knew that was coming. But the reason that matters for Arkansas is because of the DJ Wagner thing. Because we talked earlier about coaching changes and everything, and some of the dots that were being connected was Bruiser Flint, who's on Arkansas staff, would be going to Miami. And some of the thought process back when the DJ Wagner rumors first started was, he could be a guy that would follow Bruiser to Miami and, kind of run the show over there for the Hurricanes. They have their point guard now. And as soon as we caught wind yesterday that Donaldson was probably headed to Miami, it wasn't 5 minutes later, I started hearing they're actually sounding more optimistic about DJ Wagner maybe returning. Is that a coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. But that is a destination that was frequently mentioned. If Wagner hit the portal, that is probably off the table unless they just wanted to put two pieces together. It just wouldn't work well together at all.
I like that. And I think if you add up all the context that we have, all the info which we have, which admittedly is not that much, the signs do kind of point to DJ Wagner remaining a Razorback, right? The fact that they haven't really been in on a ton of guards, and this is like, that's a very important domino there.
Yeah, they haven't been in on any ones or twos.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could call Wilkerson a 2 if you want to, but like he's a specialist that, be like off ball and everything. But yeah, anybody who would have the ball in their hands, they haven't really been connected to outside of like a big wing like Keyshawn Hall. So, yeah.
And the good news is Kentucky just missed out on Silas Damari. So
tough stuff. He going to UConn?
He's going to do great at UConn, by the way. I like Silas Damari. I actually think he's pretty good. I think he's going to do great at UConn.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, again, it's like, goes about to what other schools are doing. And if Arkansas, if you want any sort of solace, if you're getting antsy, just remember that Kentucky ain't exactly killing it either. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. We'll get to a few more of your chats, folks. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in and everything. Dave was saying, did we talk about that horrible production from RSN yesterday?
I starred that. I didn't get to see it because I was coming back from Little Rock and everything, but I know, Andrew, at the very bare minimum, you did. I saw some still shots from it.
Well, I would have liked to have seen it. It was hard to see. But dude, it was crazy. And look, obviously, historically, they haven't, I think last year was the first year that they streamed this game. They normally aren't able to do that with the Little Rock. They've kind of finally, after all these years, finally figured out the technology, which, by the way, just proves that they were full of shit all those times where they were like, no, we can't do it. It's impossible to stream this game. I'm like, what do you mean it's impossible? Wait, how can you not do it? They did it, but and it was cool to hear Phil's voice. I actually didn't really talk about it on the pod, and as soon as I got done recording, I was like, I forgot to make fun of the broadcast. It was tough, but here's what's stupid about it. Like, while the game was happening, there would be just random cutouts. I mean, you saw some of the still shots, and it would just go black for seconds at a time. But then when it was a commercial and the RBI girls were on the dugout, the clearest 4K you've ever seen. It was like it wouldn't even buffer at all. It was like flawless. And then as soon as the inning would restart, it would go back to being bad again. It was a little bit of a chore to watch that. And the game sucked also.
Yeah. Okay. I was just making sure because I guess threw me off because it was 2 days ago, I guess, technically, when the broadcast. But yes, it was terrible. I felt like I was I was tripping on acid watching an 80s music video most of the time with all the colors and stuff that were coming through. So yeah, it was pretty brutal. BJ Young says, hey, let's hit a cards game together, fellas. That would be lit.
I would love that.
Love this.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's hard not to have a good time in Busch. I know Cardinals fans are not happy with the team and all that. But yeah, that was it. They are doing well, but also it's like that's just such a cool park, such a good backdrop, good food options. We could have some Freddy's. I think they have Freddy's in there. We would have a great time with BJ Young at a cards game for sure. Or maybe he'll just come with us to the Blues game.
Why not both? Make a day of it.
Why not both?
Yeah, make a full day. And hopefully they end up the Cardinals. If we went to a Cardinals game, I could really piss everyone off because I don't have many baseball jerseys, but I do have a Dodgers jersey and I do have a Rangers jersey. So I would just, if they played one of those teams, I could wear that and not get things thrown at me. So
be okay. You really wouldn't catch much heat unless you were wearing a Cubs jersey, but that rivalry, it's always, like 70-30 with the fan split, no matter which stadium you're in. So you wouldn't be out to dry too much.
Okay.
I think you'd be okay there. Yeah,
that's good to know. Also, Camo Hog just wants to know: would you rather we get Ament or Quaintance or Wilkerson, or Ament and Quaintance, or Wilkerson and Yexel?
Wilkerson and Yaxel, just like 110 times out of 100. Yeah. I love Ament. I mean, he is the most talented of that group, but he's unproven. And then you have Quaintance, who has a torn ACL or a recently repaired torn ACL. Then you got Wilkerson, who's just a proven commodity as a shooter, and Yaxel, who's arguably the best forward in the portal. I would take those two for sure. It's a fair question, though.
Yeah, no, it is. Just in terms of fit and all that. If you get Wilkerson and Yaxel, you will be minimum like the top 7 offense in the country. Like, you would be a high level offense, regardless of really what else happens. I mean, obviously they'd fill out the roster, but we have to put out this disclaimer before everyone starts yelling. If they get Wilkerson and Yexel, they would still need to get a true big man that's going to come out there and grab 5 boards, commit 3 fouls, and block 1 shot. Like, they still do need like just a big body guy. But like I've been saying all along, I'm okay with Arkansas's 5-man, their true big man, being just a, not a top player on the team, like just a guy that is big.
Yeah. I need to get you guys on some Malik Ewan film from Florida State. Like, if you imagined Jalen Graham with a motor on the glass, it's this kid. Like, he's got like spin cycle to 14? Him. Yeah, like 14 and 7 or so. It's pretty good. Not a huge rim protector, but he's nice. I was watching his tape. I stayed up late watching his tape last night while the Discord was moon gooning. So,
well, there was a lot of that going on.
It's crazy.
Let's see. Shout out to Quinn. Super Chase says, I'm going to see TO today at Field 68 show. So I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, keep us informed.
No, you need to, because Terrence Ogletree, he's on my list too. I don't know what he said about Auburn, but he was the one who said that Calipari Patino is such a coaching mismatch. It's like putting 2 guys on a seesaw, but Patino's the one holding all the weight. And so he was like doing that Muscleman Chris Beard, crap from a few years ago. And that rubbed me wrong when he said that. And then he didn't run it, but he didn't walk it back or didn't bring it up or anything after Cal beat him. So he's on my list too. Go get him, Quinn.
I just don't understand like making that statement when they've literally gone head to head like so much, and Cal has such a better record than Patino. I just don't understand why you would just be it's a complete mismatch. It's like, isn't he like freaking like over the past 10 meetings, literally like 9-2 or something, or 9-1, something like that. But
yeah, he's owned him for a long time now.
Appreciate Scott Walker for super chats. It says Omaha miss. He was talking about our look more likely. So yeah, thank you. Appreciate you, man. Also, let's see, real deal. I don't know. He says haven't been paying close attention, but is there any smoke behind Somto Cyril to Arkansas?
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. It's I mean, there has been the entire year. It does seem like there was with Jaden Quaintance, because both those guys were committed to Cal at Kentucky, and then they were two who didn't follow him to Arkansas. So with Cyril, it kind of felt like he was going to be an easy answer to hit the portal. Like all of Georgia's roster has hit the transfer portal. We just saw Silas Demery going to UConn, and I saw Deshane Montgomery's out of there, and Asa Newell's going to the league, and RJ Godfrey's transferring. Like all these guys are leaving. So, and I know that they've been doing some bag upping on that front with Cyril. So they might have just made him a crazy offer to be like, my God, we got to keep somebody around here. That could be part of it, or it could just be he just hasn't turned in the paperwork yet to hit the transfer portal. If he does, I would expect Arkansas to be heavily involved with him.
Yeah, I'm stunned that he hasn't hit the portal yet. I mean,
I'm kind of surprised too. Yeah.
That is interesting. He, by the way, and look, I know as soon as we talk about him, someone's going to look up his stats and say, this dude averaged 4-3 or whatever. Why do you guys want him? The rant I just went on about how I don't mind Arkansas center just being a big guy, like literally just being a guy that is big. Somto Cyril kind of fits that criteria. I mean, what is he? Is he 7 foot? He is massive, and he's an imposing figure.
He is a large and mean man.
Yeah. He's 6'11", 260.
Yeah.
That's
a unit. As a true freshman, he was. Yeah. So and he's only gonna get better. But yeah, right now he's just like a body mover and screen setter, shot blocker and rebounder. But his offensive game is only going to get better. Right now, he just dunks on people because he's mean and stronger than them. But I would like to have him for sure.
Well, that's kind of what I want, is a big that you don't have to run offense for. That's just large. You know what I mean? He's just there and he's big. Like that's what Somto Cyril is. 1.5 blocks a game.
I was trying to think back
game or whatever.
I was trying to think back to if Arkansas's had a player like that. I'm sure they have. Just a player that's just big, and that's what he does. It's just simply that, where it's not offense running through him.
Yeah, when is the last time they've had just a mean SOB in the paint?
I mean, I don't know if I call him a mean SOB, but definitely like Stephen Hill wasn't known for his offense. It was more of his defense, but he was a big down there. I don't know.
Like, I think Mikal Mitchell is kind of the closest thing they've had.
Oh, man.
No, seriously. Jimmy Beaver says Kamani, and obviously he was undersized and below the rim, but he was like the physical, I'm going to come in here and throw you around, kind of guy.
Yeah. The Kamani skill set in a 6'11" guy is what I want.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but the point is, it's been a long time since Arkansas had one of those players that it just seems like they always had bigs, but they were more like stretches and guys that were very athletic and everything.
Who was the football player that joined the team midway through the year for Muss?
Jamario Bell.
Yeah.
Jamario Bell.
There we go. 6'11" version of him, just come in there and clean clocks, man.
Oh gosh, I keep forgetting about him joining the team. Arkansas's had a few times that happened. Like when the backup quarterback Brandon Mitchell joined the Mike Anderson basketball team. Matt Jones, of course, played basketball. I want to say there was another one I'm missing too, but yeah, there's been a few of those. Let's see. What is it, Andrew? Is there something you got to bring up, or he just froze on us as soon as I asked him?
Oh man!
As soon as I throw it to him.
It's been on the verge for a minute here, so
yeah, I've been flirting with it a little bit.
Caught him at a good time. Like sometimes you can be stuck with a really weird face when you freeze. He's got a nice smile going right there.
At least he's smiling this time around. So yeah, there he is. He's back.
He's back.
He says, Heartbroken Hawk says, if y'all had to choose just between two players to have that back next season, who would it be? I would want TB and Knox. I think all of us are kind of on the same boat for that.
Knox for sure. I would still go. I get it, guys, with the 3-point shooting and stuff. I would still go Thero.
Yeah.
But TB would definitely be my next on the list. I would love to have those two guys back.
So you would go
Fit-wise, it might even. I would go Knox,
TB,
Thero,
Wagner,
and then yeah. Or probably
I'd do
Billy
it.
over Wagner, but yeah.
I mean, I think everyone can at least agree Knox is the one that everybody should want back. If you, no matter what, Knox is definitely the one that you want. So, let's see. Also, Quinn, appreciate Super Chat. If you listen to the clip, I brought it up. He said Golden will have the game on strings, and before the season, he thought Auburn would finish 9th in the SEC. So, yeah,
That's tough.
Who thought Auburn was going to finish 9th? That's crazy.
That's tough. I felt like I was really fading them, and I think I had him at like 5th. So,
hell, I thought Florida was going to finish 9th in the SEC.
Yeah. We both definitely had Florida. We were
Lower.
sleeping on them. Yeah, we were sleeping on them.
Yeah. All right. Again, we'll continue to get to your chats here in a second, but I do want to bring this up as part of your Arkansas update presented by Davis and Garrett Insurance, your independent auto owners insurance agency, securing what matters the most. Transfer portal news, but on the women's basketball side of things, I know it was brought up, but Mayberry from Kansas is transferring in to be part of Coach Music's newest staff or newest roster she's putting together. 5'7", she averaged 9.7 points per game. But the most interesting thing is that it's Lee Mayberry's daughter. So those of you remember Lee Mayberry, that's a little connection there, which is pretty cool. So there you go.
Cal comes in, he gets Slobberhog put back on the floor immediately. Music comes in and she gets legacy players added to the roster. She's growing up. I'm not gonna lie. I was like everybody else when they made the hire, and I was like, we'll give it a chance, but he's been coaching D1 for 3 years. We'll see. But I liked a lot of what she had to say. I like her energy, and I like this move right here. So I'm looking forward to seeing the roster that she builds. But this is a good thing. I like it.
Well, and Music also has her leading scorer from Oral Roberts last year. A guard that averaged like 18 a game for her at Oral Roberts entered the portal. I don't know if she's officially committed to Arkansas yet, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say she's probably going to Arkansas.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've liked what she's done so far, just in the small period of time that we've seen her, and know what she's doing in the moves and all that. Who knows? And I don't mean this as a negative thing. It just could be maybe one of those like Dennis Gates situations where she comes in and just kind of brings a lot of players she's familiar with and knows, and kind of surprises some people in year one. Could be that, but
better portal recruiter than Cal.
Yeah, people are saying.
The good thing for her is, I mean, I'm not trying to throw shade at Mike, but like she doesn't have a high bar to clear to show signs of improvement next year. Like, hell, you win 5 SEC games and people are gonna be like, wow, this is really heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
So
She doesn't have that though. Big news here. Boogie Fland was named Kyle Macy Award finalist.
I've never heard of that award. I saw that yesterday and I was like, what is that?
You're like freshman of the year or something like that?
It is one of 25 finalists, so he's one of 25. Presented annually to the nation's top freshmen in Tab D1 collegiate basketball freshman All-America, according to collegeinsider.com.
What was it called again?
The Kyle Macy Award finalist.
Do we know who that is? Like,
I've never heard of the lad, but I'm sure he's important and everything. He played college basketball at Purdue and at Kentucky. We don't want it. We don't want the award. So
yeah, keep that one.
Keep that one. Because there was nothing crazy too. Like, and did you guys know that there's a Nolan Richardson Award?
I did not know that.
What's it for?
I didn't know it either. But Texas A&M's Henry Coleman won it.
Well, good for Henry Coleman. He's a good guy.
Yeah. And I looked it up because they were Texas A&M was tweeting it, and they said, Henry Coleman wins the Nolan Richardson Award. I was like, what? And I looked at it. It's the award presented annually to a D1 player who has the heart and soul of his team and a leader on and off the court.
I love that.
So,
speaking of that, did y'all see that Jalen Williams, the Arkansas Jalen Williams that is playing for the Thunder, he won like teammate of the year or something like that in the NBA?
I saw something about that. Yeah. Did he win it? Like
I don't. Maybe he's just the nominee from Oklahoma City, but I saw the graphic and I was like, oh yeah, he deserves to win that.
Yeah, he is the Twyman Stokes Teammate of the Year award.
Let's go.
There's 12 of them. So Jalen Williams is one of them.
I think
I love the other ones listed on this. Steven Adams, Steph Curry is one of them.
Okay.
Like Tobias Harris, Al Horford, James
Horford makes
Johnson,
sense.
DeAndre Jordan is on this list. Brooke Lopez is on this list.
Andre Jordan's still in the league.
He is indeed.
Because he's such a good teammate. That's why he's in the league.
You're right. Yeah, it's like Udonis Haslam is.
Haslam would have been a good fit for this award for sure.
Yeah, I see that and I'm like, oh, okay. So that's what I love about the press releases from especially the University of Arkansas is there'll be the things like so and so is now a finalist for this award. I'm like, I have no idea what that is, and I don't think anybody does either. But kudos to them.
Yeah,
just get on the watch list.
Save the Kyle Macy award for somebody else because Boogie's going to win comeback player of the year as a sophomore at Arkansas. So
there you go.
I love how people were worked up over this Boogie thing, like on both ends of the spectrum. Such a hypothetical. I mean, we have no idea. He's probably not coming back, but
he's either the worst player they've ever seen or he's like the piece that Arkansas desperately needs. And I'm like, he's neither of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know it's one of the many things that we talk about where it's like, it's okay to be somewhere in the middle. I mean, you can't have just one side or the other. It's somewhere in the middle is where you can have it. Like our sweet Arkansas gal here, she says you should make Inside Arkansas or bombastic beer hats. I need one. That's actually a good idea. I do that.
Beer hat action. That's smart.
But ours has to be the tallest beers hats. Like we almost like top hats, like Abraham Lincoln stuff.
Like the beer tower.
The type you can sneak stuff in to the arena in your hat. That type of hat.
Yeah, and then we can put it to where it's like the things where you can have the beer cans on the side and has a straw in there. All in one. Like we can really get cooking on some creativity here. Because now that you can have beer in Razorback events, we'll make it to where you can have the big aluminum bottles right there too. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. I wish Arkansas basketball had something like that. I guess it's just like the Sharkansas stuff on occasion, but that's not something that will happen. I don't know what they need to bring beer hats in for basketball. I don't know what it would be for, but bases loaded, it makes sense. But I don't know, maybe someone being at the free throw line.
Double bonus.
Yeah, double bonus. Just bring on the beer hats, do it that way. That would be pretty good. All right, let's see. Also, no, I already read that chat. Okay. I've got some Michelle's that said just monsooned Andrew like 10 minutes ago. What was that in reference to?
I did because as I read monsooned, I was seeing
Moon
Goon, and I was like,
you were like, this. She must be talking about Moon Goon.
I was like, that's crazy for you to type into a chat. But then I realized at the fact that it was me reading it some type of way.
It's thundering outside my house right now, so I think I'm about to get rained on.
Yeah, I mean it's they said, at least from what I remember, like yesterday was the worse off weather day in Arkansas compared to today, but still going to be pretty nasty out there. So that video I saw yesterday of
my gosh, man,
that was insane. Like
oh my god,
like weather like that is scary no matter where it's at, but when it's like an F4 tornado or whatever it was, just going right through northeast Arkansas, that is scary. Lake City, Arkansas, that's what it was. Man, that's scary stuff.
That thing was a unit. That's terrifying, man.
Mm-hmm. Like I don't think I could find any. There's certain weather elements like earthquakes, hurricanes, and all that. But there's nothing more intimidating than if you just walked out your door and you just see a tornado that's a mile in width just coming towards you, and you're just like, there's nothing I can do. It's scary stuff, dude. So hopefully there's no more of the tornadoes happening here today.
Yeah,
in the state of Arkansas, because it doesn't need to happen. I will ask though, real quick, side note to this, Ellis, your wisdom and your vibes, your gut check. What happens this weekend for Razorback baseball schedules? Like, what do you think?
So, the way that Dave was speaking this morning made it sound like they almost certainly aren't playing tomorrow, and like they're going to end up having to like cram in, and it's gonna work out poorly. Honestly, this is not what you want. One, that you're going to have to play a doubleheader almost certainly, and it might end up being on Sunday, so it'll be 2 7 innings. Like that would suck. Doubleheaders almost always end up in a split. Now Missouri sucks, so maybe they'll throw a wrench in that. But it's like Missouri's not the team you want to play a doubleheader against, even at home. And it could be a Saturday night game and then a Sunday morning doubleheader, which is that's 3 games in 24 hours. Like that's tough. So I think it's going to be really tough. I think they're going to. I would be stunned if they played tomorrow, but I think it would be in their best interest to try and fit in a game Friday night or Saturday afternoon or like whatever they got to do. I just really don't. And honestly, you want to get these 3 games in. You want to get these 3 dubs in there. Also on the baseball front, I did want to point out Gage Wood confirmed not going to be available this weekend. Not that we were necessarily expecting him to be, but last I had heard was he was going to have to throw to live hitters at some point. I believe that took place Monday or Tuesday. And Dave did not say anything about how that went, but he was very adamant he wasn't pitching this weekend, and he didn't have like the smile on his, like he didn't follow up with he's not available this weekend, but things have been going well. And that's what he's kind of been doing, is he's been saying things like on track, on schedule, everything's going well, no soreness. He didn't say that. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily that there is soreness. I just didn't like the vibes I got from Dave. I feel like I know Dave, close personal friend of mine, did not like the way that he addressed the Gage Wood situation. Also, Parker Coyle going to be out for like at least 4 or 5 weeks. He was probable going into last weekend. They got him up in the bullpen and then sat him down and then said he was not available for the Sunday game. I think he tweaked something in his back. It was a back injury that he was kind of dealing with, and then he got up and threw in the bullpen and then got sat down, and now all of a sudden he's out for a month. Not a great sign. Dave did say they do expect him to return. It's not like a season-ending injury, but he's been basically your best bullpen arm, your best left-handed arm on the team, and now you're going to have some young guys step up. Cole Gibbler, come on down, buddy.
Well, I was actually, going to bring that up too when you were talking about Dave and making that mention of maybe he's going to go on Pat McAfee's show and then just drop the Gage Wood. He's going to be coming back. How about that? Maybe I don't know if Pat McAfee will ever have Dave Van Horn on his show, but he should. He should have him. He's a good quote. But yeah. I also don't think Dave is going to do that.
It might have to be a Feinbaum thing.
Yeah.
Maybe he would drop it on Feinbaum, or I guess the D1 baseball, they don't really have a show, but he would definitely leak it to one of those guys, which would piss me off.
Yes. Yeah, that would be some BS. And you talked about the Missouri series. If they have to do that, yes, they have that midweek against Arkansas State on Tuesday night. So it's like it's almost like, hey, can we cancel that one? Because you don't want to have to play 3 games in 24 hours essentially, and then get 1 day rest, and then boom, there you are with another game. Maybe there'd be something like that you change up and make different. But either way, by the way, also random. I saw that UAPB almost beat Missouri last night. So
they tried. They tried
to do it. Almost did it. Almost pulled it off.
A lot of teams been dropping midweeks here lately. I mean, obviously Arkansas dropped one last weekend. I think Auburn dropped a midweek game. Tennessee's dropped at least one. Midweek's been tough on some folks. Arkansas's former opponent, Portland, they beat a ranked Oregon team last night too. So watch out for these midweeks.
Yeah. They'll get you before you know it. That's for sure. All right. Well, fellas, any final thoughts before we wrap up here on Inside Arkansas Live?
Not really. I wish, man. But hang tight. I would say if you don't have those noties turned on yet for our YouTube channel, go ahead and do that, because things are gonna happen at some point. They have to. I'm not gonna predict that it's gonna be today, because, well, if I did that the last few days, I'd have been wrong. But when it does, you wanna be tapped in, because we're gonna go live and we're gonna break it all down, and it's gonna kind of be like football was for a while, where you might hear about some, guys leaving or guys going pro or whatever. But then we'll also get the retention announcements and the guys joining the team from the portal, and it'll be a little bit more exciting. So make sure you're tapped in for that. But other than that, I got nothing.
Yeah, there's no way we get through this entire work week with we got the Big Z portal live stream, but like, there's no way we're going to get through this week with like no updates, right?
I wouldn't think so, but we'll see.
No matter what we think, it'll be the opposite. That's all that matters. Like, no matter what it is, again, it's going to happen at the most inconvenient time. It's going to be like during the Razorback, like as soon as Arkansas is down to the 9th inning and their doubleheader and winning the series and all that, something's going to pop. It's going to be like, oh, thanks. It's going to be at the most inconvenient time. Or who knows? Maybe it's midnight tonight. Could happen that way too.
That's why I'm hoping the timing works out, where tomorrow's game gets postponed and then there's like 3 portal announcements at like
there we go
5 p.m. on Friday night, and we're like, all right, you know what?
Yeah. Just try to make it convenient for us. Won't you? Just to make it convenient for us and our stuff. But either way, we appreciate each and every one of you listening in and watching in Inside Arkansas Live. Be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas on our YouTube page. You can also follow along to downloading our podcasts in the audio form wherever podcasts are found. And that's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. You can also check out all of our social medias at Inside Arkansas and our website, InsideArkansas.com, for all the latest and greatest up-to-date information on all things Razorback. So for Andrew Ellis and Curtis Wilkerson, I am John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. See you then.